Chapter 4. I stood up after a while and put Scabbers back into his cage. He happily licked his salt block, not a care in the world. It was quiet through the house, so I slowly stepped out. I was instantly greeted with an unsettling feeling, eerie and bone-chilling. I was confused. "Jack?" I called quietly. No response. I cleared my throat. "Jack?" I stuttered out louder. My voice cut through the silence like a knife through glass, shattering it. I walked into the kitchen where he said he'd be, and the sight was odd. He was standing in front of the counter, his left side facing me. He was standing there, glaring down at the knife that he was clutching in his fist. I wanted to do something, move, speak, close my eyes, but I couldn't. He just stood there, not blinking, not moving, not breathing. Was he okay? I finally, after several minutes, worked up the courage to speak. "Jack?" I said quietly. He looked over at me, and I swear for a split second, his eyes were black, then straight back to the piercing bright blue he was known for. "What?" he asked, almost like nothing had happened. "Was he..." But I was so confused. "That was funny," I said, laughing. "That's it. It's a prank. It must be." But his eyes... Just play it off. He smiled. "What was funny?" "I was just about to cut up some meat for the sauce," he said, grabbing a pack from the freezer and plopping it down on the counter. Never mind. So, you need some help?" I said, trying to play it off. "No thanks, I've got it. You should just relax. That trip here must have been exhausting." "Yeah, a little," I murmured, still a little shocked from what had just happened. "Well, I have Netflix in the living room. It's logged in, so watch whatever you like. Or just make your own, or whatever," he said, smiling over at me for a moment. His smile is contagious as hell. I couldn't help but smile back. The incident was pushed out of my mind for a while, as I sat down and watched my favorite show, Happy Tree Friends. Jack walked in and sat beside me. "What you watchin'?" he asked casually. "Happy Tree Friends." "Happy what?" he laughed. "Is that like a kid show or something?" "Just watch," I said, smiling at the TV. He had walked in on an innocent part. Eventually, someone got a rake through the chest, cutting their heart and impaling them into a wall. When I looked over at Jack, he had the most horrifying, malicious smile creeping across his face. I looked up at his eyes, and they were black. My gut twisted. I knew I wasn't imagining it. He blinked hard, then they were back to normal. What the fuck? This wasn't something I could be making up. It sent chills down my spine. "What the fuck was that?" he laughed, cringing slightly. He put his hands up to his face. I was so confused. One second he's normal, bubbly, and sweet Jack, and the next, he's like a demon. Can I label it as that? A demon? "It's a misleading show," I said flatly. "Fuck yeah, it was. I was thrown off guard by that," he laughed. "Same here," I whispered to myself. "Huh?" he asked, looking down at me. "Oh, nothing. Is supper ready?" I asked hastily. He stretched. "Yeah, it'll be done in just a few. Do you mind helping me set the table?" he asked, standing up. "Oh, no problem," I said, standing beside him. Why did he have to be so tall? We made our way into the kitchen, myself being cautious. The way he glared at that knife was unsettling. I hadn't seen him do anything harmful, but the looks in his black eyes was bone-chilling. He handed me the things out of the cabinets, and I set them on the table. I watched him closely, trying not to raise suspicion. What was up with him?